Hello, Libra. Venus is retrograde in Leo during August. And on the 4th, Venus is going to be conjunct Jupiter. And Jupiter's direct in Leo on the 4th. So you've got Venus retrograde in Leo on that day. And you've got Jupiter direct in Leo on the same day. And how that's going to affect you, this little planetary formula. It's like a little Kabbalistic formula. How this is going to affect you is that it's going to cause you to kind of ignore the chaff and go for the wheat. You're going to go for only the cream of the crop. You want to rise to the top. You want to get that, as the old cliche goes. You want to rise up in status. Status is going to be very important to you this month. And it may even become more important than sustaining certain relationships that usually feed you, Libra. So just understand that if you're feeling lonely, it's really not because people don't like you. It's because your desire for status is at odds with your heart. And that's going to increase, but if you stay focused on the cream of the crop, if you stay focused on the wheat, not the chaff, you will be able to kind of parlay that into something better next month. So be sure to check back with us next month. All right, now let's see how your ruling planet of Venus affects you this month, Libra. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Now, this month, your guardian angel, the great divine physician Raphael, who is the guardian angel over all the air signs, is going to really have his eye on you. And maybe be a little overprotective. Now, this is an angelic horoscope transmission from your specific Libra angel Zuriel, who resides over your cardinal air nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. Okay, first we're going to get to your love transmission. Now, with everything we just said, because you're not focusing on people who are just so much of the chaff and the husk that you tear away. Yeah, the husk that you tear away. And the shell that you got to crack through of the coconut. Because you don't want to deal with that. Because it's just too rough. You want to just get right to the sweet part of the meat, yeah? That's what you're going for. You want people to do all that and then hand it to you. And that's fine. And people will do that. But again, that will sort of that's sort of a desire for status, and what that will do is it might make you feel just a little bit lonely in matters of love. You see the benefits in finance. You know the benefits in finance. But in matters of love, it can cause you to feel like you're somehow, not getting what you want. And again, this is because of the desire for status. So just understand that it's something that you're doing and that you can change that at any time. But, and then you realize that if there's something you want and you don't have it, it's because part of you doesn't want it. And of course, this is because of these various astrological aspects and planetary facets that go on, yeah? Okay, so a lot of people who consider themselves suitors or flirts or whatever, they're going to try to pull at your heartstrings. And they're going to attempt to break your heart. They're going to want to break your heart because they want you to respond to them. And because you have your eye trained on only going for the meat in the center of the coconut and maybe the water, but you don't want to deal again with the husk or you don't want to deal with anything hard. You want them to deal with that and present it to me nicely. I'm not going to do any, you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to do any of this nonsense work that I shouldn't have to do. That's not for me. That's like klipothic, the husk and all that, and these things are not necessary. Then we get into a debate about that, about is the husk necessary, this isn't the time right at the moment to get into that very intense debate about physics or Kabbalah, but it's an interesting point. So just understand that people who feel slighted by you, they're not going to try to hurt you in a malicious way, or even they're not going to try to harm you in a vindictive way. They're just going to try to be their best and put their best foot forward and but the trick is, Libra, the reason you're not understanding is that they're doing this for everybody. They're not just only doing it for you. Because people want everybody to love them, not just one person. They want to be loved by everyone. And so this gets back to self-love, which we all are getting better at. Because people have been trained ad nauseum forever to learn to love themselves. And we're being given more and more tools, aren't we, to learn to love ourselves. Now this can become either extremely toxic or extremely healing, depending on, in our romantic life, or for that matter, for our finances and even our health, if we understand that we do have to then take this enormous amount of self-love and share as much as we can. We have to share it with others. This is why some of these ancient rituals of breaking bread and sharing in whatever society or culture you're in, or that's why these things are important. Sharing of the light. You have the self-love. It's love. At least it's love, and then you share it. If you don't share it, then it becomes toxic. Okay. So that just try to maybe give a little bit of attention to all the people that you care about. Just maybe, just a little bit of attention to people in a friendly manner. That is permissible within your culture. Because in every culture, there's built into every culture, every religion, every societal system, there's always a way to share with other people, whether you have to do it through another person, a proxy of some sort, or whether you have to, do it in a veiled manner. There's always a way to share. There's always a way to try to give. And people, when people say, oh, this is a veiled threat, or people are giving in a bad way, people are giving the only way they know how, and with what they have to work with. And people are only malicious when they're scared. When people are not scared and feel cared for and feel secure, their intentions are good, and then whatever they're sharing comes across as being good. So when we get scared, we all behave badly. And this is why we're taught in our various religions and cultures that when we decrease fear and we decrease our ego, then we can share better. But it's not really, some people say that the fear and love are opposite from one another, but really they're the same thing. Just like repulsion and attraction are the same thing. It's the same, like love and hate are the same thing. And you understand. We don't have to over-explain that. You understand. Okay. Because you're very intelligent, Libra. All right, now we're going to go over the new moon in Leo on the 14th. And you'll be able better to say no on the 14th. And we're telling everybody this, a heads up, that everybody's going to be able to say no better with this new moon in Leo. And people want to, people have learned how to say no and learned how to handle themselves. And now they want to have someone to spar with so they can practice saying no and practice it's like all these people have been trained to be warriors in their own way, or soldiers in their own way. And now they want a sort of a theater where they can display these abilities. And, better you do it with computer games than actually hurt other people. But you understand. So just understand everybody feels that way. And, try to keep it fun and it won't be so bad. Okay, on the 29th, full moon in Pisces. You'll be able to apply things that you've learned to a greater understanding and a greater confidence. And that sort of almost gets into the give and take of things. You'll be able to take the lessons of give and take and then use that in a way to learn how to do less and accomplish more by building your confidence. Because confidence, which is a solar aspect and a progenitor of testosterone in everybody's body. Women have less, but it's helpful to have some, everybody needs a little bit of everything, in order to function. Just like the female spirit runs through the male body and the male spirit runs through the female body, or we couldn't be in physical reality. Because you cannot live at all light or all dark. You can't exist in all light or all dark in any kind of format because you wouldn't have any sensation. Okay. Now for Zuriel's money transmission. Keep work and business separate is his message in August. Try to keep your desire to have your own business and your workaday world, where you might have a second job that's funding your business, or the nuts and bolts of your life, where it's better to try to keep in August. It's not always true, but in August, time and place for everything, right? In August, specifically, don't mix your, new business ventures with your work, with what you do on the side. If we're talking about day jobs and night jobs, not a good month for Libra specifically to mix the two. That's all. Try to just keep them a little separate. Again, this isn't forever, and it's not for everyone. It's just for Libra this month. And then next month, it'll be different. Now, money is going to be made this month in August with people who are in service jobs, because people are going to be very compulsive. So if you're healing people, serving people, helping people, if you're a life coach or you're a doctor or you're, helping people in some manner, whatever it is, selling them a wonderful elixir of life, whatever it is, people are going to be very compulsive in August, so you'll be able to do better with selling them these types of products, of, service jobs of any kind, to be in the service of humanity. Now for Zuriel's health transmission. His message is that intolerance and bigotry are basically an intolerance of the self. And if you have a certain intolerance or bigotry towards any type of creature or person or culture or race or whatever, and we all have attraction, repulsion, reactions, we all have love-hate situations, we all have that. So with this kind of thing, you're actually having one part of your body be against another part of your own body, because everything in the universe is inside you no matter what. So just understand that. And then from there, you learn how to get along, and it's hard. We're not saying it's easy. But understanding that is the first step. And as you learn to start to get along with your own body, and the systems of your body get along with itself, then you're going to be able to begin to, be tolerant of other people and other creatures and other life forms and beings and even other dimensions. And then there's a great healing, a great universal healing of the great universal soul. And then we all heal because we're all holograms. And so we're all a piece of the whole. So we want to, if we're healthy, if we can stay centered, then all of reality stays centered and healthy. Now, to help with this, we might want to go with some abdominal breathing instead of just shallow chest breathing. We want to have maybe more deep abdominal breathing, and we don't want to hyperventilate or any of that. So breathe into the abdomen like you did when you were a baby, and instantly you'll notice you calm down, and your whole reality changes when you do that, because you activate the crown chakra, where that's Kether, and that's the babe. That's how you came in, fresh like that, without some need to control. So do a lot of abdominal breathing this month. And everybody wants to control. Everybody does. And if people are telling you that you want control, that means they do. Because we're all just talking from our own sphere of sensation. We're talking not necessarily about ourselves, but we're always talking from our own view, or our own, wherever, what we're able to perceive, what we're able to sense, because we have no other way to relate. Okay. Now we're going to get into the afterglow and some of the planetary facets and the astrological aspects that we feel are important for you this month. Go over. Venus, again, is currently retrograde in Leo. On the 4th, Venus retrograde is conjunct Jupiter. On the 5th, Venus retrograde is square Saturn. And Saturn goes direct in Scorpio on the 2nd of August. Mercury on the 6th is conjunct Venus retrograde, and Sun conjunct Venus retrograde on the 15th. On the 19th, Venus retrograde trine Uranus retrograde. We put something together for you just to make it a little fun. And we kind of presented it to you at the beginning, but we'll get into it a little deeper here. There's a little bit of a heads up here. This is, again, the 4th. We went over it earlier. We're going to go over it a little more deeply, a little problem in the afterglow to make it more fun for you and us. This Venus retrograde in Leo conjunct Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter's direct on the 4th. Well, what we came up with is that commiseration is what people are looking for, and friends and business commiseration. Like, people want to commiserate, whether you're talking about friendship or whether you're talking about, money, or whether you're talking about health. People want to talk about their problems. But people do love to talk about themselves, so remember that. So if you don't like to commiserate, and they're going to want to commiserate, and that helps with making money and making business, obviously. But if you don't like that, because it makes you feel toxic, encourage people to talk about themselves, because people love to talk about themselves. Keep them focused on themselves, and you'll do very well. The outcome of this formula is that dredging up old relationship issues to cause guilt in the other person creates friendship and popularity, and that's true. But it's toxic. So you have to weigh how you want to deal with that. Okay? All right. That was fun. Thank you for joining us, Libra. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. And join us again next month.